Hi guys, this is Christian from Wingsurfer.nl. Here we have the PPC M1 Wing. I like wings that can be used in all sorts of conditions, from wave riding up until racing. With the M1 Wing I found such a wing. Also, it makes use of some interesting materials that will give the wing extra performance and should make it last longer. I've been using the 5.0 and the 6.0 for about 3 months now. So it's time to give you a detailed insight about this wing. Stable, beautiful profile and high quality materials are used on this wing. The wing is very stable. It trails along very well. Also, when just walking towards the water, it's very stable. You notice it directly. And then the moment when you grab it, it's just stable in both hands. The power distribution is perfect on both the 5.0 and the 6.0. This is the 5.0. When you look at the profile of this wing, even when there's no wind, it's just lying around, it's tight. Profile looks awesome. You can notice that directly on the water. When you're going fast, it doesn't make any sound. It's only when you go really fast you can start hearing things. But then you know you're going fast. But it's not from any flapping or anything, it's just some kind of zoom that comes along when you're going faster. And it's actually a good feeling because you do know you're going a bit faster than you did before. So you want to have as much zoom as possible. What's really noticeable about this wing as well is the leading edge. The leading edge is made from Dyneema material. That way they made the whole leading edge and the strut stiffer, because the 5.0 can be pumped up to 11 psi, 6.0 to 10, and because of that they can have the leading edge thinner, and making it thinner gives a lot of advantages because it's still stiff, or actually stiffer than a lot of other wings. So the frame is stiffer. You can move it along through the wind much easier. So when you do attack, there's less air resistance in the front, so you can, if the wind increases, you can still pull it through, and that makes it just easier. Also, because it's thinner, combined with the profile of the wing, it gives the wing a really fast feel to it. Although it's a fast wing, you can still, they also designed it to wave ride it, do freestyle tricks with it, or just free ride it. Of course, for just free riding there are cheaper wings out there, but for a full Dyneema leading edge and strut, it's not that bad compared to Alula wings. Talking about those, you have a lot of wings made from Alula, and then the canopy is made from some normal ripstop material. This wing has got some blend, some special blend. They are not saying what kind of blend, but within the canopy you can see there are some fibers in there, and with these fibers the wing should make it last longer. What happens with a lot of wings is that the airframe is still good after some period of time, but then the canopy becomes, it stretches a bit, and just taking out the performance of the wing. So they are using a different kind of canopy, and it should make the wing last much longer. I've been using these wings for almost 3 months now, and it hasn't stretched yet, and just giving the same performance. I think it might be a little bit less, it's really hard to see, but it should give the same performance as when I impact them. So I think that's a really good thing. More brands should have a better look at that, giving their expensive wings a better canopy. Other things to mention is the hard handles on these wings. These are quite thick actually. They do give a lot of grip. So the first time my hands got a bit sore of that, but after a while you get used to that. But they have a slightly updated version now with new carbon handles made out of one piece, and the connection, well, I can see a little bit of movement, but almost nothing. but the connection should also be stiffer than it is on this one. What I really like about the wing is the valves. It's the kind of used with the sort of like the HP valves. It's the easiest, I think, to inflate and deflate. My preferred option. It comes with a good quality leash, especially on the 6.0. I think it could have been a slightly longer, but other than that, it's high quality. Also comes with a swivel, so it doesn't get tangled up and all. The wing comes with windows in them, and they actually work quite well. The position of them is not perfect, like all of them, but on this position, when going fast, holding the wing a bit low, I can see what's happening behind me. But of course, the moment you hold it a bit up, you can only see the sky. The backpack. It's all about details, and what I really like is the large backpack that comes along. It does fit the wing. Besides the wing, it will fit other stuff as well. I think even your normal pump, but you can also put pump on the outside of the backpack. Also, it comes with a separate pocket on the side. You can store some gear in there that needs to stay dry. Tools for the foil, for example. But the most important feature to me is the air vent on the whole bottom of the backpack. Of course, water will get through, but for me, more important, when I throw in sand, and normally it blows in there, it just falls out directly. So that's the biggest plus to me. I love this backpack. Range of use and speed. Let's start with the 6.0. The 6.0 has a very deep cutout, and you can really notice that in low winds. It just gives you a constant pull, even in the lowest of winds. And because of that, it's really easy to get onto the foil with this one. When I was using 56 liters and only a 580 front wing, I'm over 80 kilos by the way, with 12-14 knots I would manage to get up on foil and stay on foil. It just keeps on going, it just keeps on accelerating. It really makes use of the apparent wind. And even on lighter winds, 10 to 12 knots, I would just grab a longer, more volume board, 92 liters. I could get going in 10-12 knots, and with this wind I managed to go 45 kilometers an hour on the 6.0. So I think this wing works really well in these low wind conditions. But when the wind does pick up, it can become, it does feel a little bit heavy. You can really feel it holds the wind in such conditions, and either you need to go faster to lose the wind, or you go one size smaller, of course. So when the wind gets too strong, you just grab the 5.0, and the 5.0 has a bit of a different design. The profile, it's not as deep as with the 6.0, so it needs more wind to get going, that's for sure. But because of the 11 psi in the structure, the frame, combined with the high tension, I could still manage to get this one up on the foil really quickly. It just needs technique of short pumps, short powerful pumps, and combined with the profile, it just gets you up and go quickly. The wing is, I don't know if it's faster than the 6.0. I haven't gone faster because when I'm on the sea, and when it gets more windy it gets more choppy and it's harder to go faster with this one. I managed to go over 40 kilometers an hour, but I actually didn't go as fast as with the 5.0 as on the 6.0, so that's interesting. But I think it all has to do to the conditions. But because the 5.0 has a thinner leading edge, in theory this one should be faster, but I haven't gone faster yet. So it's up to you to try that one. The 5.0 can be used in, compared to the 6.0, can be used in high winds. And I really enjoyed using the 5.0 in high winds. just jumps really well in it. More about that later on. And the control in the waves is incredible, probably because of the thin leading edge as well, the thin profile. You can just move around on the waves, going upwind as well. Everything works with this wing. The 5.0 is just one of the best all-round wings I've used so far. I love the 5.0 in all conditions. And the 6.0, because of the limited range of use, only in the lightest of winds. That's where this wing really excels. Jumping with the M1 5.0 wing, it's amazing. Because it's such a stable wing with a constant pull, and it accelerates on the go. Popping up out of the water, it's really easy, and it does feel like you're going higher with it. I don't know if I did, but with this wing I jumped further, that's for sure. And that's probably due to the speed I already had. And once up there, it gives you so much control. I almost didn't fall with this wing during my jumps. I'm sure like over 95% of the jumps I did were perfect. So jumping with this wing, best one I've had so far. The 5.0 and the 6.0 in various conditions, onshore, offshore, strong winds, low winds, actually mostly using the 5.0. I really like the 5.0 wave riding. It's one of the better wings out there. The weight is good because of its sleek design. It really goes upwind on the wave really well. It's light enough to go downwind on the wave in lighter winds, and that's the big difference to the 6.0, because the 6.0 probably due to its size, its thicker profile and size, it's bigger anyway, so it's heavier. And I was using it because it's designed, I really noticed, for the lightest of winds. Wave riding in the lightest of winds is more difficult anyway with a big wing, because the moment you move down a wave, there's no wind to hold the wing up, and also turning upwind again, you can really feel it's a bit loggy. It's thicker, you know, so it moves around a lot less. But that can be expected of a 6.0. The only way to counter that is to have an even lighter wing. And this one isn't the lightest, but it's certainly not very heavy with all the dyneema, and it's still one of the lighter wings out there, but there are lighter ones. So for the lightest of wings and you want to wave ride, I wouldn't recommend the 6.0, but get a different wing that's, well, try to find one around 2 kilos or something. But in all other conditions, the PPC wings really excel on the wave. I haven't used smaller than the 5.0, but I can imagine those are only getting better on the wave. Trailing along behind you, there's a big soft handle on the front. I like it that it is big. I can move my hand in, my large hands, in it very easily. And also it gives me enough control to move it around. Of course, it could be a little bit more direct in the corners, but you can see it's quite stiff. Also, when you manage to hit the wing with your knuckles, there's a big soft patch behind it. Protects the knuckles really well. So overall, wave riding 5.0 is just perfect. The only thing I could mention is when you're starting in the water and there's a lot of currents going around, the wing does tip over quite fast. But there are wings that do that even faster. So I would say it's somewhere in the middle of flipping over really fast. You just need to hold it really tight towards the leash or on the handle so it doesn't, and just keep an eye out on it. Conclusion. I was looking for a potentially very fast wing that I could use in the waves as well and just free ride with it, whatever I wanted to do. So looking for a great all-round wing, and I think I found it in the PPC M1. It's one of the best ones out there that can do anything. Especially the 5.0, it's really good. The 6.0, it's really good when you just want to use in the lightest of winds, just going fast. It's a session saver, but the 5.0, it's just all around at its best. They are coming with a little update right now. The carbon handles are gonna be thinner, longer, and are gonna be single molded. And also the weight of the wings is gonna be slightly reduced. So my conclusion, get one if you can.